How y'all doing, y'all? Today I would like to talk to you about something very special. It's special because it is disturbing, but it is news of freedom because I have uncovered it, and I am a former ward of the state, former foster youth, former incarcerated youth, and I am here to describe the Farrell Litigation. The Farrell Litigation is a lawsuit brought up against the youth prison in California, known for housing mainly group home kids, foster youth, and kids from ROP, Camp Sweeney, and other programs of the like. So when you would fail out of those programs, or on the outs you would catch a shooting, a gun charge, a rape charge, or a murder charge, oftentimes you were sent to CYA. And if you were fighting in another lower level program, you were often sent up to CYA. I was placed on CYA commitment for having dreadlocks. When I went in there, I didn't have very serious crimes, but the judge told me that everyone cuts their hair. And I was like, I'm not cutting my hair. And he was like, if you don't cut your hair, you're going on CYA commitment. CYA commitment means one crime, CYA. I was on CYA commitment till I cut my hair. And when I cut my hair, they worked it out to where I was not on CYA commitment no more. I would like to highlight two things. Number one, CYA was a place where they knew bad things were going to happen to you. Abuse was going to slip through the cracks and get to you, and it didn't matter who you were. And number two, the Farrell Litigation is a lawsuit that CYA lost, okay, for not keeping kids safe. But the allegations were that they kept the kids unsafe on purpose. So we're going to pretty much read the main allegations that were found against CYA. And these are California kids in America, and this place is still open. Main allegations of the litigation: severe abuse of power by CYA staff, including the use of excessive force against wards. Staff indifference to pleas for protection against sexual harassment, sexual assault, and rape. Disproportionate use of segregation to punish, dangerously insufficient medical care, violations of constitutional health standards surrounding mental health care in CYA, egregious lack of education, substance abuse treatment, sex offender treatment, or exercise, absence of policies and procedures of youth with disabilities, or to enable the practice of religion. I'm going to summarize this real quick because I really only care about the gangsters. Because the gangsters are the ones that are going to be misunderstood and have sent there off of gang injunction charges, trumped up charges, and don't belong there. The kids that rape their family members, and the kids that done murdered, and the kids that done on their own behavior, on their own recognizance, they're going to get sent places that I can't advocate for. You get what I'm saying? But there are group home kids in this place. And when they went to a group home, they got into a couple fights, and they got saw fit to get sent here. And this is how they're treating children. And they accept up to 24 years old, so 12 to 24. Okay? So we're going to jump back to the main allegations, and I'm going to do a summary now that I've read through of my opinion and my theory along with that. This is the David Ocasio theory. Main allegations of litigation: severe abuse of power by CYA staff, including the use of excessive force against wards. Number one, this is all a part of the Kill the Indians, Save the Man movement. There was a book on the treatment of wild, savage Indians back when they used to kill their parents. They would take all the kids into a place, kind of like CYA, and just abuse them until they were adults and let them out as submitted American alcoholics. The result was that everyone was an alcoholic. Okay, staff indifference to pleas for protection against sexual harassment, sexual assault, and rape. This is proof that some of the sexual harassment, sexual assault, and rape is a plan in the first place. So look, check it out. Let's say you're new. I'm like, come here. I'm gonna room you over there with Bobo, and Bobo is a sexual offender. Like, why you going? And then you come to me and go, hey man, Bobo is sexually harassing me. I'm gonna look at you and go, I know, stupid ass, and walk off. And then if you kill Bobo, I'm going to charge you with murder. And if Bobo rape you, I'm going to let him get away with it. That's CYA. So we're going to keep it going. And if you get into a fight and you hit the floor, they might undress you right there. You know what I'm saying? That's CYA, understaffed. Okay, they don't report the abuse. This is a more honest report than anything that I've seen on YouTube. Okay, disproportionate use of segregation to punish. You know, like for example, for me, they might throw me with black fools from Oakland, or they might throw me with some NorCal dudes, and like all the trouble they get in, I'll get in as well. You know, some shit like that. I don't know. Dangerously insufficient medical care. Okay, this goes back into if something bad happens to you, including stab or rape or almost beat to death, you're supposed to not report it. If you report it, you'll be snitching on the warden. And if you snitch on the warden, they might let it happen to you again. You get what I'm saying? So, your job as a victim is to be quiet in this place. Okay? Violations of constitutional standards surrounding mental health care and CYA. So yeah, I was in a room for 23 hours and 55 minutes in juvenile hall. 23 hours, 55 minutes for 6 days in a row. Some people, they're like that, you know, in CYA, they might not even let you out take your shower. You get what I'm saying? And they might not even feed you. And no one's getting in trouble for violating your constitutional rights to 3 meals in a day, you know, like stuff like that. Egregious lack of education, substance abuse treatment, sex offender treatment, or exercise. So these kids, they need exercise, they need substance abuse treatment, they need sex offender treatment. And the most important thing, a lot of them need like NA meetings, Narcotics Anonymous. They need like the 12 steps, you know, of Alcoholics Anonymous or Narcotics Anonymous or something along those sorts to repent and work through all the sin in their life. And they've all, you know, they won't let them have AA meetings or, you know, take them to their own solution. And they got them in that program instead of rehab when really they just need sobriety. The last thing, I'll go further into that, the absence of policies and procedures for youth with disabilities. I have severe ADHD. My experience was no different than everyone else's, but it should have been. I should have had accommodations. But check this out, the last part. Or enable the practice of religion. So they didn't even enable the practice of religion. So basically, you want me to be a good Christian boy. You want me to behave. You don't want me to misbehave. You want me to be a good Christian boy or a good man of God. But you won't even let me talk to a pastor that's black or brown. I'm talking to these corny ass dudes. I don't know what they believe. I'll give you further. You have social workers practicing dialectical behavioral therapy or even Buddhist practice. So you have atheists teaching religion. You have atheists teaching atheism. And then you have mindfulness people teaching mindfulness. But nobody can teach the kid to get a mind full of prayer. A mind full of hope and faith in God. A mind full of acceptance. Okay? So in America, we're just in a country where we have religious freedom, and in this religious freedom, we are also a Christian nation, and I believe that the Christian chaplains need to be first in line for the returning of all the CYA kids to their counties. You know, the time is coming where all CYAs are shutting down, and every youth will be back in the county. But I don't think we should just go for it. I think it should be a process of restorative justice where we restore justice. And if unjust things happen to them, we should get them freer sooner. Last part of my David Ocasio theory is that the only solution for the CYA kids coming out and not knowing how to function in society is to give them high-paying plumber jobs, journeyman labor jobs immediately. They should get out and make above $30 an hour so they don't have to rob, steal, kill. They can dress nice, go to the strip club. You know, these are kids that have not had a lot of access to women. Ain't no telling how they gonna treat women. Give them good jobs. They can go give massage parlors, strip clubs, help them get the edge off as they learn how to talk to women and have some game. You know, it takes a while to learn how to talk to a woman. So, my heart is with all the incarcerated youth. Part of my story is that I had the girl of my dreams ready to go to prom with me. And where was I at during prom? I was incarcerated. I believe that my life could have came out a little different if I'd have got what was mine. And I believe that incarceration was me getting stripped of my freedom. And in my freedom had my blessings. But there was blessings in my incarceration. The Farrell Litigation proves that California does not care about its youth. People in social work, probation officers, they knew this was a child torture facility. They knew rape was on the table. In other words, from behind the walls, they tell me, you better watch out in CYA. Everybody gets stabbed in CYA. I said, what do you mean everybody gets stabbed in CYA? They said, everybody gets stabbed in CYA. So there's only so many definitions for everybody gets stabbed there. Okay? That means everybody gets stabbed. There should be no facility for minors where everybody gets stabbed. So, level 12s, level 14, group home kids, foster youth. Remember the Farrell Litigation. And if you go through shit you're not supposed to go through, knowledge is the difference. Ignorant people go through things until the wisdom falls upon somebody on how to break the chain of shackle that they're in. The ignorance is another byproduct from the slavery system where they wouldn't teach us to read. You know, so don't let your lack of access prevent you from getting the knowledge that you need. It's all out here on Google. The Farrell Litigation will teach you how to shut a prison down if the prison is corrupt. That's the goal here.